Hi everybody, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting with me today. So I was sent this information, and then I also looked it up by a friend, and I thought maybe I won't talk about it. But then I thought, if it was any other case that I was discussing that I brought up on my channel or whatever, my viewers would expect me to talk about any updates or any new information about it. So that is why I'm doing this. This isn't for any personal reasons. I'm doing this because, like I said, if it was any other case, my viewers would be expecting me to update them. But first I want to say, so this is in reference to Fancy Miceli and Sarah's criminal charges outside or in Missouri, in Chillicothe. So first I want to say I did go and I watched Into the Weeds podcast after many people suggested I watch it. And I listened to what they had to say about the situation because they were there for at least part of it. And I do want to say that based on what I'm understanding from what they said about it, that Blue Shirt behaved very inappropriately. He didn't have to be so obnoxious and loud and granted, that's not a criminal offense to be obnoxious and loud, but, apparently he just really, first he came after Fancy because she wasn't filming, but he thought she was filming, so he got on her case about that. That wasn't appropriate for him to do that, in my opinion. He should have just went, sat down, and ate his damn breakfast. I mean, that's just my opinion. He just assumed. And I'm not defending Fancy. You all know I wouldn't just willy-nilly do that. But, I'm just saying I think he was wrong to just make an assumption and go after her like that. If he felt she was filming, he could have said, hey, are you filming me? Please don't. He could have been nicer about it, And then when Sarah went over to the table to ask them if they had a statement or whatever, he stood up and maybe he didn't touch her, but he got in her face. And according to what I understand from what happened, she was scared because she was shaken up and later she cried about it. And I hate that for her. I do think being a member of the media, that's the type of thing you need to get used to. But at the same time, I hate that she, even if he didn't chest bump her or whatever, I hate that any woman felt threatened, and I feel like he was throwing his man weight around. This is what I'm getting out of, I'm just someone that wasn't there, but I feel like he was like, I'm a lawyer and I'm a big man and I'm gonna yell at this lady. And I think that is inappropriate because he essentially tried to bully her. Like, yeah, maybe they knew who they were and everything, but still, he could have been kinder with his words. And that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to stick up for Fancy or Sarah. I'm just saying, I feel like he was being a little bullish. And that's just my opinion, and I feel like that was inappropriate to make the situation more uncomfortable than it already was. He could have just been nice about it, I think. I feel that might have worked. And if it didn't, then you alert, staff at the hotel and say, hey, can you call the police? This woman is harassing me. Instead of making yourself look like an ass. I'm just saying, because at the end of the day, if this was really his behavior, at the end of the day, even if he didn't touch her, so there was no assault, so there wasn't anything illegal, he's still an ass. And that's just my opinion. I'm sorry. So I went and I was looking at these documents. This was sent to me by a friend, and I also went into Missouri courts and case.net and looked it up. And I will, again, at the end of this video, remind everyone how to get to these documents. So it says here, I'm not going to read the letter, but it says that this is from the Missouri State Public Defender Chillicothe Trial Office. And Fancy was determined to be not eligible for a public defender, which, I mean, I thought anybody was eligible for a public defender if they said they couldn't afford one. I mean, if they couldn't afford an attorney. So, and again, I hate to sound, I don't want anyone to think I'm trying to defend Fancy or side with Fancy, but I mean, she did, you know, have to get donations to travel to Missouri in the first place for the lawsuit that was dismissed. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know her money situation. It's not my business. It's not anybody's business. But I hate that, but it does say that you have provided information that you have income that exceeds the guidelines. And I did try to find the guidelines, what are the income requirements, but I couldn't really find them. I found a 71-page document, which is the Public Defender Guidelines for Representation, but it just pretty much lists the rules and behaviors and principles and ethics and things like that. And that doesn't really answer my question. Let me try one more search. Hold on. I should have done this before I started the video, but it's okay. So this is for Florida. I want Missouri. I'll just tell you what it says to Florida, for Florida, give you a baseline. The court is allowed to appoint the public defender to represent a person who has income that is equal to or less than 200% of the current federal poverty guidelines, or who is unable to pay for the services of a private attorney without substantial hardship to the family. Okay, so that was for Florida. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so this says, a defendant may be considered indigent if his or her gross pay and other sources of income do not exceed 150% of the federal poverty guidelines. And when making the financial determination, the following factors should be taken into consideration: spouse's income and parents' income if it's a child 18 years of age, under 18 years of age, which of course that's not what's happening here. So even 150% of the federal poverty guidelines, so what's the federal poverty guideline? Now we got to check that. Hold on. So the poverty threshold for a household of 2, I'm just assuming 2. I don't know if there are any kids living in her house or not, but the poverty threshold is $20,440 for a household of 2 annually. So 150% of that, if their income is more than 150% of that, then she can't get a public defender. Now, let me go back. Sorry, you guys. That's not really a lot of money, though. Like, 150% of 20,440. That's not a lot of money. You expected to hire a defense attorney with that? I mean, I guess it depends on what the income was, but she can appeal it, though. So, I thought for sure she would be able to get a public defender. But I mean, I don't know her financial situation, so I don't know why I would even think that, but I'm just waiting for Sarah's to come up. And then I will show you again how to obtain this information on your own, because I'm not really reading the documents so much to you. So Sarah was assigned a public defender. And he's on top of it. He's already filed a request for discovery. So it looks like she got a good one. Well, I mean, that would be their first step anyway. So, and he submitted a request for discovery. And I wonder if Sarah will have to appear now that she's a public defender, if he can just appear on her behalf. I don't know exactly how that works with them in another state. So, but anyway, that's it. I just wanted to share that information with you. Now, let me show you really fast again how to obtain this information. Okay. Let me back all the way out of here. So you're going to go to Missouri. You're going to go to www.courts.mo.gov, and you're going to go to CaseNet. Search for a case. And it's also very interesting if you want to go in here and search for Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Nicholas Godejohn's cases. You can see a lot of interesting documents there. Then you go into litigant. Go here into litigant name search right here. And then you just type in the information. Type in the first name and the case type. And then go into find. And then she should come right up, and then you just click on the, well, it'll be blue. It's purple because I've already been in there. And you go in that. Then you're going to go to, you can scroll through each of these to docket entries. And here is a docket entry. You'd have to click on the cross, and then you can click on any documents that open up in there. Okay? But that's how you get there, and that's, you would do that for Sarah as well. But also, if you type here, you can do Godejohn, and hopefully it won't take forever for it to open. I just did N Godejohn, so maybe I should have typed his whole name in. But at any rate, I won't wait for this. You can go in and type in Nicholas Godejohn or Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and you'll get information about their cases too, which was interesting. But yeah, that's it. I'm not going to wait for this to open up. I just wanted to tell you that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.